Everybody, what's going on? Goofy Rexy here. Hope everybody is doing well. And I got a little conspiracy theory to cover here. And it's the reason why I believe we got the Greek difficulty 4 raids and then also the Greek difficulty 5 raids coincidentally when the Gamma raids are being launched. So if you're not familiar, this happened randomly a couple of days ago here where you were able to log in and I think it was on Monday, right? You were able to log in here and you were going to go launch your regular Gamma raids for the new raids for this new raid season, and a lot of players saw difficulty 4 and then saw difficulty 5. Difficulty 4 requires G14 gear, and then difficulty 5 I believe requires G16. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I believe that that's the case here. But the reason why I believe that that is the case is because if you're familiar now, of course, with the Gamma raids, on the left side, you have your Pimtech and Kree, and also you have your Wakandans. And on your right side, you have the same Pimtech, Kree, and then also the Wakandans as well. Coincidentally, guys, if we jump back into the game right now, there is a rumor tag called the Quantum Tag, which players believe is supposed to be used there for Pocket Dimension. This is going to be the way that is rumored right now that players are going to be able to unlock King the Conqueror for what was shared, I believe, on patch day last week here. If surprise, surprise, if you can't take a look at the characters that are here, what a surprise that we have the entire Pimtech team that is currently right now that are our feature, right? So you got Stature, there's Ghost, there's Ant-Man, there's the Wasp. All these characters are here that are part of the Pimtech team that you can use, except for Yellow Jacket, right? Like Yellow Jacket is not a part of this group that is here. Kind of interesting as to why that's not the case here, but I guess it's because that character is not going to be in the movie. That's the reason why they chose to go in that particular direction. Now, players originally were upset as it pertains to the Pimtech team because they were originally built as a Dark Dimension team only, right? And then players were upset that they were only useful for Dark Dimension specifically. They couldn't be used in any other particular game mode based on their kit. So Scopely's response to that was to change the Gamma raids to having to include, this was way back when, having to include the Pimtech team instead of whatever team was there before. I'm kind of forgetting who that team was. Instead of actually reworking the Pimtech team's kit so that they could actually be better outside of their Dark Dimension game mode, because nobody has really built up a team apart from Ghost to be able to use her in some other content back in the day. So now again, they're kind of doing the same exact thing. Although different, it's very similar, and another way to force players to have to build that Pimtech team, either the gear tier 14 or gear tier 15, 16, if you're going to be doing difficulty 5, in order for you to be able to do that left and that right side if you want to be able to get to 100%. And then also they're doing this as well to double down on Pocket Dimension, because if you kind of look at Pocket Dimension and the Quantum Tag, right, like the characters that are here, they're just not very good in general for Pocket Dimension. I mean, yes, Agatha Harkness is a good character, but individually, I don't know if she's that great. Spider-Woman, okay. Black Panther 1mm really kind of needs the other team around him. Dark Beast needs the other team around him as well. Ghost kind of just older character that doesn't have the stats to sort of kind of live up to what she needs to do right now. So really your best bet, if you're looking for synergy, is probably going to be going with the full Pimtech team, because remember, Pocket Dimension, it will follow the rules of engagement as it pertains to Dark Dimension rules, right? So yes, the Dark Dimension rules will translate over to their kit. Whatever it says in Dark Dimension, you'll be able to do that in Pocket Dimension because it follows the same rules based on those kits. So technically, I guess based on the synergy perspective, the Pimtech team is going to be the best team that you can use for that Pocket Dimension, probably, if that's the case. Here's the thing though, I'm not doing it. I don't recommend anybody to do it as well. I think ultimately at the end of the day, this is kind of a poop way of doing it. I get it. Like the Quantumania movie is coming out. This is probably the reason why they're going in this direction. But I think a lot of us would have preferred rework the Pimtech team. Especially, man, look at this. Look at this costume right here, right, for Stature. They're giving the this is the movie vibe. I've already made, my thoughts on the costume for Stature, where this looks both like the Stinger and then also the Stature suit combined based on what they're doing in the movie. So that I like the costume. But it's just like I would have preferred if they had gone the direction of actually reworking the full Pimtech team and making them useful, as opposed to forcing players now to bring these characters up to gear tier 14 if they want to be able to complete the Greek raids, or having to invest into them just to be able to get through Pocket Dimension. And King the Conqueror, I mean, really strong stats as a character. So I think he's going to be pretty good outside of even Cosmic Crucible. Although I think the team is still very much tied towards Cosmic Crucible, but Kang the Conqueror, his stats still look pretty good. Absorber Man, I think, is going to be quite useful as well outside of Cosmic Crucible. So maybe Pocket Dimension may be worth it if it means that you can get your hands on a character like this. But for me, once again, I just kind of feel as if though this is kind of a crappy way to do it. Now, they did say that the Greek 4 raid, the Greek difficulty 4 and Greek difficulty 5, that it was an accident, that it was launched. But I'm gonna be real with you, I don't think that it's an accident at all. I think this was absolutely intentional and something that they desire to do, even though they said that it was something that was inadvertent. I do not believe it. So let me know, what are your guys' thoughts as it pertains to this? Am I being too conspiracy theory? 10-4 at me if you want to. I personally think that this is the reason why we're getting this right now, why Greek raids went live coincidentally at the same time when the gamer raids were being launched, why I believe also as well these characters do have a quantum tag, because they're trying to force you to build this Pimtech team once again, as opposed to actually giving them a good rework and then making them more of a viable team. All right, guys, appreciate you watching the video. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. And until next time, guys, I'll be blessed. I'll be safe.